after we had acquired this land, we knew that we didn't know enough to build a city, and we put together a group of 14 professionals from very diverse disciplines of medicine, education, employment, life functions. And that work group met every 2 weeks for 2 days and a night for 4 months. There was a young woman who was secretary to the group, and one day as this was proceeding, she handed me a book and said that this is somebody who you might be interested in involving in this process. And the book was called Call to Commitment, which was the story of the Church of the Savior as told by Betty O'Connor, who was Gordon Cosby's secretary. I read the book, and my then wife Libby read the book, and so did Dee Dee Levering. We were all struck by the power of this story. So I guess the three of us went over there to church one Sunday, and we were then introduced to their School of Christian Living. The group grew. We went every Thursday night or Friday night to the church, to the School of Christian Living for about 5 years. 7 of us: John and Dee Dee Levering, Jane Mason, Neil and Normie Harris, and Libby and I. And we obviously were challenged by this marvelous concept of church. After about 4 years of going there, the 7 of us decided that we should meet in someone's house here in Baltimore initially. We met in John and Dee Dee Levering's house. And we finally began to feel that we were being exclusive, that by having this little group of us meeting, that we ought to at least have other people know about it and be aware and come and worship with us if they chose to. So we made arrangements with the restaurant at King's Contrivance that we could use an upstairs room there as our Sunday meeting place. And we made no big deal of this, but we simply were open, and we allowed people to know that that service was open to anyone who chose to join. And people began to come, not in hordes, but we built up to maybe 15, 20 people would typically come on Sunday morning. And then we wanted to come into Columbia in our own church. And that was when we moved into to Oakland Manor on the 2nd floor. And that was our church for many years. Somebody spoke every Sunday, sometimes one of us, sometimes we would bring in other speakers to preach. We had a marvelous service. It's probably not unlike the one that you hold now. And then came the time that the barn was available, and all of us helped to raise the money to acquire the barn and rehabilitate it. One of the things that motivated the action to have a church was the church relationship in the city itself. In those early days of Columbia, some of us were moved to try to find a different kind of a church relationship than the typical church on every corner. This was certainly a part of a new church life that was unique to Columbia.